zoning hearing. I'm Robert Carthel, the zoning hearing officer. I'm conducting the meeting on December 18 at 2:30. I'll call the meeting to order and indicate that there's no public comments to be approved and no minutes to be approved at this meeting. I have one item for public hearing on the agenda, which is Bloomberg of Bloomingdale Township case for a variation to reduce the front setback for a new pole sign from required 15 feet to approximately 5 feet. The matter was published in the Daily Herald on December 3rd, 2024. And I have no comments from most of the departments of the county, but I do have an objection filed by the village of Roselle, and a representative from Roselle is here appearing on the Zoom conference. So may I ask that either or both of you who are going to testify to raise your hand and be sworn in, please.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony and evidence you're about to give at this time shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, we'll start with the petitioner. I have a plat of survey as exhibit number 1. I can't make out a date. It appears, is this a 1998 survey?
That is the most recent survey that was produced by the property owner, yes.
Well, usually require a survey to be a year old, but we'll see what happens. And then what is this other document? Is this supposed to be your site plan?
Is it, there's a couple images on it? Is that what you're looking at?
No, I'm not looking at the photographs. I'm looking at the one that shows the sign placement, which I presume is your site plan, although it's not marked and it's only a copy of the earlier survey. Is that right?
Yes, it's a zoomed in version. Since there's a lot going on in that, we zoomed in on the specific area that we're talking about. So you could see where the placement is of the proposed sign in comparison where the similar Bloomberg auto body sign is also placed.
Yeah,
on the property next to it.
Sign placement, but there are no dimensions on here.
Not on the survey. That's where we refer to the proof. And on the proof, it shows a 48-inch tall by 96-inch wide pole sign, which is slightly smaller than the existing Bloomberg sign.
Is that this the 2 photographs with the sketch of the signs?
Yes, there should be a sketch of the sign itself on the left, and then on the right, there's 2 visuals as if cars were driving down Lake Street from both directions. You can get kind of a visual placement of that as well.
See what's on here. Here's what I'm trying to tell you. You submitted a site plan which is supposed to show the location of the sign and the indication of where that sign is from the property line, but there are no dimensions to that effect on the site plan. So then I also have a narrative, which I'll take these in succession as exhibits 1 through 4. So then why don't you proceed, sir?
Okay, thank you. So from there's been a material change in the placement of that sign on the setback, saying that we have a little bit more room to work with on the grass area located at the end of the parking lot, but before the street. So we were able to increase the setback just a little bit to satisfy a little more setback, and also being able to still utilize the sign without placing the sign pole in the asphalt of the business owner's lot. So this lot was a former single-family home that was converted to a business, and over time that property line has been diminished, basically as Lake Street has been developed, and then because of that, the visual impact of that property has also been impaired, especially at a distance. So Lake Street comes in at an angle on these lots, So coming eastbound, that angle provides a great difficulty of visibility. So if people are coming in to look for that business, it's not easy to find. When I did my first site survey, I passed it a few times. I had to go around the building and find it. But point one, it does not draw in the advertising impact that the business needs for the clients. And it's also not easily to find from a busy road if clients are just going in there to actually find the place. So they're, busy Lake Street, they're slamming on their brakes potentially if they do see it last minute. And, having this sign in place would alleviate that a little bit, because you're able to see it based on the renderings that I provided. You're able to see it at a distance. People can slow down and pull into the business, as opposed to hitting the brakes or taking several laps around, causing more traffic. So because of the Lake Street being expanded over time, it's greatly reduced the easement. And so because of that, we don't have a lot of front lot space available for signage. But the setback that we're requesting will be most impactful to provide the visibility of the business, while at the same time not impeding the space on the already tight parking lot that has all those cars in it. And then I have a few points just addressing the variance that will not negatively affect the surrounding area. There's a few hardships that the business is incurring. One, which I mentioned before, its current setback. It's blocked by view from the adjacent gas station. It doesn't have proper visible signage as is to draw in or to direct potential clients from a distance, so causing them to pass by without seeing it, or requiring them to turn around or hit the brakes, or potentially not being able to see the business at all. So this putting the pole sign up will be in conjunction with the harmony of the other businesses around. All the businesses adjacent and down the street on Lake Street also have very similar or the same types of illuminated pole signs. And we kept those sizes similar to proportion of what everything else is, to keep it in harmony with everything else. And this will properly promote and direct clients to the business. Also, granting this will add a new supply of light to the property. So at times at night, there's a lot of dark spots at the end of the property, and this, instead of adding a light pole, essentially, this will light up the front of the lot, giving it a little more sense of being open towards the end of the day, especially this time of the year. So it's definitely a sufficient amount of light to light down on the parking lot and the vehicles over there, and even splash down on the building itself. But it won't have any other negative impact beyond that. Won't increase any fire hazard. It's a low voltage LED sign, very low draw, but higher illumination. So it's a very clean operating sign. There's no combustible materials inside that. It's made of all aluminum, low voltage power, and LED modules. This will increase the value of the land and the buildings around it, because if we increase the value of the business with this sign and new visibility, it'll add value to the frontage of this place, essentially driving in more tax dollars on this property and this business specifically. This will also ease the congestion of cars potentially slowing down, seeing this business last minute. We want cars to be flying by at the proper speed limit. So if they're driving by just to drive by, they're not impeded by any cars looking for this business last minute and slowing down, trying to turn in or take several laps around the area to find it. So it'll help customers see the business ahead of time, allowing them to slow down properly. There's no flooding or anything in this area, so this won't increase any potential flooding. It's a simple concrete sonotube going down below the frost line, and then the square steel tube will be properly installed into the ground, holding up the sign. So just like any other pole sign that's installed on Lake Street, it won't impede or increase any potential flooding that's really not necessary. No more public expense. This will be a privately funded sign by the business owner. So this won't affect, it's solely on the owner of the business. So overall, the sign is a means of business identification, which this specific business and property is in need of during its, because of its current lack of signage. But it'll provide a fresh impact of visibility. I think the visibility, the proper flow of traffic, and adding a new clean look to the business, I think that's a lot of pluses that that will be incurred if we were to add this sign to the business. So appreciate your consideration on this. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. But that's what I have for now.
Thank you. I didn't ask you to identify yourself, so could you just state your name, spell your name, and tell us who you are in relation to this petition?
Yes. So my name is Michael Burker, Michael Burcker. And I am the sign fabricator, designer, fabricator, and installer.
Okay. And then
So-
can I hear from the representative of Roselle, please?
Hi. My name is Karen Bricks, CaronBricks, and I'm the Community Development Manager for the Village of Roselle.
Okay. And do you support or oppose the petition?
We oppose the petition.
You want to tell me why?
The property is within the village's ultimate planning jurisdiction. And the sign does, from what I've been, what was included in what I received, does not meet the village's sign ordinance. So it would be non-conforming if the property was ever annexed. So we're against the petition.
Did you file a formal objection, or is this is not a formal objection?
No.
Okay, so there's no formal objection filed, so that doesn't trigger any super majority to approve this. All right, that's it. Is there any concluding remarks from the petitioner?
Yeah, if there's anything that needs clarification based on your initial comments on sign placement, measurements, or any missing information on the documents that you have, please feel free to let us know and I can clarify that. I think compiled, we have all the info, but if you need that certain info on certain documents, I can certainly organize that for you.
Well, let's do it this way. I'm not gonna make you get a new survey if my recommendation is not to approve, but if my recommendation is to approve, then I would require a new survey and a formal site plan showing the dimension.
I can certainly do that.
So you'll, I'll make my decision. What's the date of the recommendation meeting?
January 15th.
My recommendation will be made at 3 o'clock on January 13th, 15th, sorry. In a formal hearing like this, but you can appear by Zoom again if you like.
Okay, and we'll receive,
You know how it-
we'll receive correspondence of that to be invited to that one.
No, I'm telling you now when it's to be held.
Oh, okay. Well, but I'll receive a link to,
Yeah, well, okay, we'll send you a link.
yeah, whatever. Okay, that would work for me.
Great, we'll close the hearing. No further information is required. I have what I need for now, so you'll get our recommendation and you know how it proceeds to the development committee and the county board thereafter. So, thank you very much. Hearing is closed.
All right, thank you all for your time.
I'll get to that when they sign off. Thank you. Hey, this is Robert Cartho. I'm the zoning hearing officer, and I'm conducting the 3 o'clock recommendation meeting on December 18, 2024. Call the meeting to order. I have no public comment to be offered at the meeting. I have 2 items of minutes to be approved. Those include the zoning hearing officer meeting of December 4, 2024. The minutes of that meeting have been transcribed, and I'm adopting those written minutes. Similarly, the recommendation meeting of December 4 have been committed to writing, and I'm adopting those items. I now have the recommendation for the Sessions petition, which is 24065, a York Township petition. I'll indicate for the record that at the hearing of December 4, we left the record open for the submittal of an additional, some additional documents by the petitioner. Those were received on November 5, and I'm including them in the record. That was transmitted to the objectors. And the objectors then on 11/6 submitted a written statement confirming their objection. My recommendation in this case, after the hearing and the consideration of all the records, is to deny the petition. I don't feel that the requirements for the variation were satisfied, and that recommendation has also been committed to writing and will be available in detail to the parties. I'm executing it and adopting it as we speak. And I have no other recommendation. I have no other cases to submit recommendations for. I have no old business, no new business to consider, and so I will adjourn the meeting.